know if you boys noticed.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank all of you for joining us on this very momentous day and this very momentous occasion for University of Arizona, for University of Arizona athletics, and for the entire Southern Arizona community. We're glad to have you all here today, and we certainly hope all of you and your families are well and staying safe. My name is Dana Cooper. I'm with Arizona Wildcat Sports Properties, and it's my honor to be here on the podium and to serve as your disaster of ceremonies this afternoon for this momentous occasion as we welcome our new head coach, Coach Tommy Lloyd, and his wife, Chanel, his kids, Liam, Sophia Marie, and Maria Alexis to the Wildcat family. Did you catch those names? Chanel, Liam, Sophia Marie, and Maria Alexis. That's some first name, all name team right there. That is beautiful. They say significant things come in threes, and there are three significant things for the Arizona basketball family. Our Ari McDonald off the women's team is going to be drafted into the WNBA today. And most of you are aware that a beloved former coach, Bruce Larson, passed away. So we'd like to take just a second and remember Coach Larson in a moment of silence here, please. Thank you. And of course, the third big thing is what we're about to do, and that's to introduce our new head men's basketball coach. A reminder that this press conference is being streamed live all over the place. Arizona Athletics Facebook page, University of Arizona YouTube page, as well as ArizonaWildcats.com. And since we are live and in person for this press conference, it's been a while since we've had to say this, but please silence your phones. And it's nice to have to say that in a live gathering. And to our media guests who are in attendance today, just a reminder that when we get to the Q&A session of the end of the press conference, we ask that you would stand up and either come to the microphone in the aisle here. There's another one toward the rear of that section. And when you ask a question, introduce yourself, let us know your name, what outlet you represent, and then certainly your question. And questions will be open for everybody. So now to begin our official welcome of our next leader of Arizona basketball, I'd like to welcome to the podium the president of the University of Arizona, Dr. Robert C. Robbins.
Thank you, Dana. Good afternoon, everyone. I've been told to stick to the script. We're on a tight timeline. I've got lots to say, but I'm going to stick to the script. Just came off, Provost Folks is there, just came off of our state of the university that we presented to ABOR that was streamed live, and I'll tell you this university is not only surviving, we're thriving. This is a great university. I was supposed to practice my presentation, and I subjected Chanel and Sophia and Mimi to, actually, I never got to practice, but they read over it for me. Liam, you were spared that. While Dave and Tommy worked on the way back from Spokane. But I just want to thank you for taking a chance to come to Tucson, leave your perfect life in Spokane, in the Gonzaga bubble. And not only are we a great university, but I look forward to restoring the greatness that is the University of Arizona men's basketball program. We've got a great women's program. Ari, I don't know what number she went in the draft. She should have gone number 1 because she's the best player in the country. And they gave us incredible excitement this year. Just that close, Coach, that close to making that last shot. My job, now that I've gone off script, Dave, I'm sorry. My job is to introduce Dave Hickey, our Vice President for Athletics, Director of Athletics, and we were just talking out in the breezeway there I'm not sure there's been a Power 5 conference that in a short period of time has run national, comprehensive, meticulous attention to detail searches for a football and head basketball coach in such a short period of time. Coach Fish, thank you for being here today, and thank you for making Arizona home, bringing your talents to Tucson. But Dave Hickey has done an absolutely incredible job at running these two searches. And I want to emphasize this was full on 24/7 for over a week. We talked to hundreds of people around the country. This was a very thorough process, a very competitive process, and Dave got the best man for the job. Dave, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it very much. Thanks, Dana, for being with us. And, Coach, thanks for being here. It's a big day for Arizona athletics. I'd like to welcome everyone here in person. Certainly welcome everyone on streaming or virtually in television world. Hope you're doing well, healthy, and in good spirits, because this is truly a magnificent day for Arizona athletics. Just a couple things. As Dana mentioned, we had a big loss this week in Arizona athletics, the passing of former head coach Bruce Larson, head basketball coach from 1961 to 72. Bruce was a great Wildcat, and our thoughts and prayers as this department and as Wildcats everywhere are with his family. We also have a very special guest here today that I'd like to introduce, and I'd like to welcome here, and that's Kelly Olson. Kelly, thanks for being here today. So glad you could be with us. When you walk into this building, whenever and wherever you are, and Arizona basketball is mentioned, we always remember the great Lloyd Olson. He's certainly missed. His presence here and his presence in the game, his presence in Tucson is certainly missed. But I know today he's with us. Today in spirit he's here. He's likely sitting there in a comfortable seat watching this with that classic, traditional Lloyd Olson plaid Arizona long sleeve button-down shirt, extending his hand of welcome and support to this program. And Kelly, again, we're glad you're here, and we're glad that Luke's here with us as well. Today, truly an exciting day for the University of Arizona. We mark the beginning of a new era of Wildcat basketball. I want to thank President Robbins for his unwavering support of our athletics program, his partnership in this search, and all of our endeavors in athletics. I especially want to thank all of our Wildcats everywhere across the world. We have an incredible alumni base and fan base who offered up very passionate advice, opinion. That's why we have the greatest fan base in America, and I do truly appreciate that. Arizona basketball has a storied history of excellence and a relationship with its community that is truly one of a kind. As we begin our search, as we started this search, we were looking for a coach with a championship pedigree, a leader with the ability to develop student athletes on and off the court, a mentor who values that holistic development of these young men in the program, a champion for our university and for our community, a person to build an elite-level program that Arizona deserves. As one might expect, there was tremendous interest from around the country, excellent candidates, some with head coaching experience, some assistants, several with Arizona ties, all of whom, in conversing with them, were excellent, incredible men of character and experience. Tommy Lloyd became the obvious choice. He embodies the values of our institution and our athletics department. Tommy's dedicated to the student athlete, the experience, believing that everyone in the program should strive to be excellent on the court, in the classroom, in our community, everything that they do, graduate with lifetime memories, and go on to become proud representatives of this world-class institution. And Tommy believes the foundation begins with bringing in the next generation of greats for this Wildcat program from our state, from around the country, and yes, from around the globe. Coach Lloyd has a tremendous respect and admiration, as you'll hear, for the rich history of the Arizona basketball program and an appreciation for every single individual who's wore the uniform here. He has great reverence for our iconic home right here, the McHale Center, and an understanding of just how special this program is to the thousands of fans that sit in these stands, but the millions who have that bear-down spirit of determination and watch us across the globe. So here we are today in this incredible cathedral of college basketball, ready to embark on a new journey, to begin new chapters, the story of Arizona basketball, with a dynamic leader who will guide our program forward with integrity, compassion, and, as I said, bear-down spirit of determination. So, on behalf of our Wildcat family, I also want to welcome Tommy, his wife Chanel, Liam, Sophia, and Maria, wonderful 3 children, to the Wildcat family and to Tucson. We're so glad to have you. So I'm honored to introduce our new head men's basketball coach at the University of Arizona, Tommy Lloyd. All right. Let's do that, huh? Yeah, for sure. Right there, man. Let's go right out here. We'll go. Come on up here, Dr. Robbins, and we'll get one picture with all of us here. Let's go up front before we go.
Wow. I mean, you're probably going to see me get a little bit emotional. University of Arizona basketball, amazing. It's a dream come true. And for those of you that know my story and don't, it's well documented. I was a longtime assistant at Gonzaga, 22 years, and I loved every minute of it. I had a contract to be the next head coach there. You know, life was good. And I never really got into playing the job hunting game or, you know, where do I want to coach, at least publicly. But in my mind, in my heart, I knew, and you're going to hear it over and over again, this is the only place I would ever leave Gonzaga to come to be the head coach at University of Arizona. I'm sure there were days thinking I'm an assistant at Gonzaga, probably not likely. But as it became a reality, it's something I've wrapped my arms around. And I can't wait to start this adventure. It's been a whirlwind today. I can't wait to get through today and get to work tomorrow. I want to start off by thanking Dave and Bobby for making this dream a reality. I mean, I'm always going to be indebted to you guys. I'm going to give you everything I got. You're top-notch people, and I can't wait to work with you guys. Keeping with the thank you theme, first person I want to thank is Mark Few. Okay, this guy gave me a chance. I mean, I literally showed up at his doorstep, had no idea who I was, and gave me a chance when I was young, and he was just starting out as a head coach. His first year as a head coach, I showed up and asked if I could help, and I was there by his side every day. You know, I was really kind of antsy and wanted to get going in this profession because I thought I could do it, and, you know, it was probably a little overzealous. And I just remember he told me one time, hey, relax, I got you. You remind me a lot of myself. And I never forgot that. I want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to work at Gonzaga and preparing me for this opportunity. I mean, the way he treated me and the freedom he gave me has prepared me to be a head coach. There's no doubt about it. And to him, I'll always be indebted. The Gonzaga administration, Mike Roth, Chris Staniford, Shannon Straw, Ryan Oliver, A-plus people. And not only were we colleagues, we were friends. And when my son Liam would play a good game, And people probably don't know this. Mike Roth was the first one to text me, and that means a ton. Some coaching mentors of mine. Jeff Rhineland was my high school coach and my JUCO coach, and taught me how to take an ash chewing, and I'll always be thankful for that, and he was a great guy. Dr. Jerry Krause, it's the most published basketball writer in the history of the game. I was fortunate enough to share an office with this guy, and he's my basketball grandpa, and I love him for that. Our baseball coach at Gonzaga, Steve Hertz, he's a coach's coach, and man, to be able to chop it up with him over the years and talking about dealing with players or leading teams was special. John Stockton, he's been a significant mentor to me and a great friend to our family, and he probably doesn't realize this, but every time he talks, I hit the record button in my mind and remember everything he says, because it's just straight wisdom. And he has probably no idea how much he's impacted me, because I've never really shared that with him. My family, my parents, they wish they could be here today, and they'll be around. And trust me, you guys will get to know my dad, and he's got more questions than I got. Actually, he's got more answers than I got questions, trust me. And he's going to be around the program on an every day and want to know every one of you guys. He's super social. And I thank my parents for raising me the right way and instilling values of, honesty, integrity, and hard work. It didn't go unnoticed by me, and I'm so thankful for it. My wife, Chanel, you guys know in this business, how important a coach's wife is. And Kelly, thank you for being here. You surprised me. And I know we met you at a few Coaches versus Cancer events over the years, and just from my wife to have you as a mentor now is something that we're really going to value, because family is not just something we say, it's something we do, and we don't know any other way. I'm fired up for my son Liam. We get to go to some of his games at Grand Canyon now. He plays right up the road, and super proud of him. My daughter Sophia, if she finishes off high school strong, gets to attend her dream university, and it's always been the University of Arizona. And my baby Mimi, Maria, gets to pursue her dream of being an Olympic eventer in equestrian, and this is the place for her to do it. So I'm thanking these guys because, you guys probably know, when you're a coach at this level, it's a lifestyle, and your family's in on it. And these guys have been with me every step of the way. Okay, a little bit about me. In getting to know me, I hope you guys find that I'm a people person. I'm a uniter, okay? I'm a person who wants to develop relationships and help people get on the same page. I look forward, and I've met a ton of them already, but to meeting and getting to know the people who make Wildcat athletics and the university go, from President Robbins' office to faculty to professors. Those are the relationships I value. And at Gonzaga, a lot of our closest friends were, professors or, on the faculty at the university, and that's really valuable. I understand the tradition and the passion that surrounds the Arizona basketball program, and I smile when I say that. I know I'm following 4 decades of incredible success and great coaching. From Lute Olson, who I was fortunate enough to visit with a few times when he attended Coach Few's cancer events, just how he was an icon. And I know I'm telling you guys that, but you have to understand, as we were building the program at Gonzaga, Arizona was the standard. And it's a program we've always looked up to, always admired, enjoyed competing against, and the amount of respect we have for this place, is second to none. To Sean Miller, who I've respected as a friend and a competitor for the last decade. I look forward to connecting with Sean at some point and hopefully utilizing him as a mentor. You're talking about a guy who was recently here for 12 years as a head coach, had incredible success, and he has worn the shoes that I'm about to wear. And I definitely want to connect with him and would love to use him as a mentor as I embark on this journey. In competing against Arizona, I've witnessed in this building the full force of Wildcat Nation bearing down on an opponent. I've seen the fans show up in full force in Maui. I've seen them walking the streets in San Diego where they beat the Zags in 2014 in the NCAA tournament, and I've always been impressed by the following, the passion, and it's something that I've wanted to be a part of. I remember our historic game in 2003 NCAA tournament, a crushing double overtime loss to Gonzaga in Salt Lake City. I mean, Arizona beat Gonzaga and in an epic game. And I've been blown away by the support of the fan base, and I know how fortunate I am to be a part of this. And I give you guys my word. I'm going to honor this place with every ounce of my being. And I want to connect the University of Arizona. I don't want it to be eras. I want it to be about one amazing basketball program, and everybody's proud. I know the value of former players sitting at home watching their team play on TV and the pride they feel when they watch that. I want to give those guys everything I got. And you know what? I don't have to be the guy they wanted for this job. I'm okay with that. They should be pushing their teammates. And if they were doing anything other than that, I'd probably question them. But moving forward, I can't wait to wrap my arms around them. Okay, ask them to help me on this journey, do anything I can to move this program forward. In closing, okay, it's an honor and a privilege to be the next men's basketball coach at the University of Arizona. I understand today the spotlight's going to be on me, but I can't wait till we move forward and the spotlight goes off me and it goes back on the greater good of the entire program and the university. I want to be a small part of our journey forward. I don't want this to be about me. I'm not worried about coaching victories next to my name. I'm worried about coaching victories for the University of Arizona. And I'm not going to look for credit. I just want to be a part of it. I don't got all the answers. I'm ready and willing for you guys to assist me. And ultimately, let's get this program back to where we're raising another national championship banner in McHale. That's my dream. I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm not going to be perfect, but I know I'm in the right place today. And I know we made the right decision as a family. And the initial support's been overwhelming. I'm probably a little bit numb, to be honest with you. And I look forward to getting to know all you guys individually, developing relationships with the media people here, because I know, the media people, I know you guys want Arizona basketball to be great too, and I want the same. So I look forward to doing it together. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach. We'll open it up to questions from our media guests, and a reminder that there's a microphone here in the aisle. There's another one at the rear of the section there. And please step up to the microphone, identify yourself and the outlet that you're with, and then let us know who the question is addressed to. Fire away, somebody. A shy media? I don't think so. Paul.
Hi, Coach. Welcome to Tucson, Arizona. My name is Paul Icala. I work for KVOA News 4 Tucson, the NBC affiliate here. And as a native Tucsonan, we're all proud to see you here, and we're looking forward to a future with you. You talked about how the only place you would have left would be for Arizona. That said, over the past decade, there's been interest in you. What are some of the programs that have expressed some of that interest? And what were some of the reasons why you decided it wasn't your time yet to leave Gonzaga and become a head coach?
Rather than get into the specifics of the universities, I'll just say this. I never let any of those, when people reached out to me, get too far. Because for me, there was no decision to make. When I heard the names of the schools pursuing me, you're flattered. but I knew at that time I was at the right place, and it was Gonzaga. I mean, I invested every ounce of my being into Gonzaga. And in moving forward, what separated Arizona is really simple. It's Arizona basketball. And this place is phenomenal. I've been watching this place rock for 40 years, since when I'm 5, 6 years old, waking up on Saturdays watching NCAA games. And for me to have the opportunity to be a head coach at a place like this, basically on the West Coast, it was a no-brainer for me.
Good afternoon, Coach. I'm Steve Rivera, co-host of Eye on the Ball on 1450 Fox. Through the years, you've been part of a program that has competed against Arizona. You talked about this a bit. How was it when you eventually won for the first time against Arizona? You talked about the 203 double overtime win. But was it kind of a slaying of a giant and kind of moving the program forward, one? And two, it's my understanding you had a Zoom call with the ex-guys today. Yep. They really thought highly of you about the meeting.
Well, obviously, I mean, I told you, University of Arizona was a standard bearer for Gonzaga. And Coach Few always did a great job of, as he built that program out of nothing, and Dan Munson and guys like that before him, of emulating a few programs. Arizona and Duke were the programs that Coach Few chose to emulate. So for us to get to a point where we're not only competing against and then, had some success and won a few games against Arizona, I mean, yeah, it was an amazing accomplishment. But, at Gonzaga, maybe it's a weakness of ours, and I'm going to have the same attitude here. It's always now and next. You beat Arizona, great. That was now, what's coming next? And that's how we always approached it. So, and then, the Zoom call with the players, that was the second part of the question. Yeah, today, I mean, the first thing I did today is I met with the current team. And it's really important that I meet with those guys because we got to hit fast forward and develop some relationships because, college basketball is crazy these days with player movement. So I want to meet these players, get them to know my vision, get to know them, know about their families so we can do the best part moving forward, creating win-win situations. The former players, it was awesome. Listen, I don't want this to be about me. I want it to be about them. And what I can do as the leader of this program is do everything in my power in using the university's resources to honor those guys and make those guys, it's about them. They're the ones with the sweat equity, the blood, sweat, and tears. That's why they're so passionate about this place. And if they didn't have that, I wouldn't be here because there's no way I would go to a program that didn't have players that cared.
Hello, Coach. Troy Hutchison, All Sports Tucson, here in the back.
Okay.
So coming from Gonzaga, you guys Gonzaga was known as an offensive, efficient team. What will be the identity of Arizona moving forward? What is your vision for the program?
Well, I mean, my vision is playing winning basketball. And the ultimate formula to competing for national championships and Final Fours is having an offense and defense both rated in the top 20. And we've been able to consistently do that at Gonzaga over the last 8 to 10 years. When you're good on offense, it's what people want to talk about. But we understood for us to take the next step as a program, we had to get great at defense too. So, I thought we did a great job kind of evolving our defensive schemes. And I think that's what's been the difference maker for us, this last 8 or 10 years on this run that Gonzaga has been on, is really making improvements on the defensive end. And we're going to be great on both sides of the ball. That's going to be the standard.
Hi, Coach Lloyd. Jason Barr from KGUN TV, the ABC station here in Tucson, KGUN9.com, and the CW Tucson. Certainly, as wonderful as the program is, it is facing some possible penalties. How much did that weigh on your decision to come, and how much does that weigh on things now?
Well, obviously, it didn't weigh much because I'm here. And, you can't always script everything in life. For me to have the opportunity to be the head coach at University of Arizona, it probably wasn't going to be a perfect situation. But one thing, I don't think you guys are ever going to hear me complain about NCAA sanctions or anything like that. I know what I'm walking into, And I know my job is to lead the program forward. So that's going to be 100% of my focus.
Tommy Greg Hansen, the Daily Star. Could you describe what your conversations with Mark Few were like when you told him, A, you were interested, and then B, when you accepted the job?
That's a great question. Yeah, of course I was nervous when he first found out. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's a Hall of Fame coach and built a small Catholic school in Spokane into a national powerhouse. And I get emotional talking about it because, when we first talked, we were in the weight room down at Gonzaga, and it was just he and me, and he was just like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "Who would have thought 5 years ago that we'd have played in 2 championship games and Arizona would want Gonzaga's assistant coach to be their head coach?" And how far we've come. And he told me, if you can get that job, you got to take it. And trust me, he's never told me that before. So he was amazingly supportive, as was the administration. Mike Roth, our AD, I was also nervous, talking to him. And he had told me, not only is it the right thing for you to do to go to the University of Arizona, we're going to celebrate it at Gonzaga. So those guys made it easy for me to make a hard choice to leave. And I'm thankful for that because they're great people.
Good afternoon. Congratulations, Coach Lloyd. Welcome to Tucson. Rich Herrera, Wildcats 90. We're the flagship for the University of Arizona basketball, so welcome. Question for you. We talked to Dan Dickow yesterday, and he was talking about recruiting. You've made your name internationally recruiting. When you were sitting down with Dr. Robbins and Mr. Hickey, what was your vision for the recruiting pipeline you want to bring to the University of Arizona?
Well, the recruiting game has changed so much in the last, 8 or 10 years, and it always seems to be evolving. I think you just gotta give yourself options, and you gotta stay ahead of the curve. The international thing at Gonzaga, what's the old saying? Necessity's the mother of invention. And you guys have been to Spokane. It's a great place to live, but it's not necessarily a hotbed for high school basketball. So we had to go out and think different to be different, to get the level of players to compete nationally. And so we utilized the international market, and I was able to spearhead that. And it's been an easy narrative for people to grab onto. But, I've also recruited a lot of great U.S. kids. And I think when I think about recruiting, I always think about my job is to get the best fit, highest character, most talented guy for our team. And you always have to have that formula. And whether that's an international guy, a transfer, a junior college kid, I don't know. But we're gonna fish in all waters, trust me. And we're gonna find the best kids for the University of Arizona, no matter if they have a name you can't pronounce or they're a kid down the street.
And a follow-up for Dr. Robbins. Mr. Hickey, if you guys could share with us, you've been through a coaching search now, the second time in 5 months. You sat down and talked with a lot of coaches. What stood out about Coach Lloyd, Dr. Robbins, and Mr. Hickey that made you think this is the guy that I can envision sitting on the sideline running this team at McHale Center?
Okay, I'll give it my first shot, I guess. Well, I think you saw some of it today. A person of integrity, emotion, passion, someone obviously that has great respect for the program here. I think those types of things are important. At the same time, someone who has been at the real elite level, understands and has been part of the architecture of an elite level program that is one of the greatest out there. So that was critically important to us. But someone who, again, believed in our values. This is a great place to go to school. It's obviously a great place to compete at the highest level, but we're here to develop young men, in this case, student athletes, to do great things, to pursue their passions and have tremendous success. And Tommy believes in that, and we're excited to have him leading the program.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. David Kelly, KVOA News 4 Tucson as well. I work with Paul here. This is also a question for Tommy as well as Dave. Could you guys speak to the timeline of how this all came together? Who reached out to who first? Tommy, when you heard Sean was not going to be here, did your people make a call on your behalf to express your interest? Or Dave, did you guys kind of know that Tommy was somebody that you wanted to talk to right away?
Yeah, I think when we got to the point where we were moving in a direction of making a change, that we began to look at those names out there, people who would fit the profile, who have the skill sets that we talked about when we were in this position, 8 days ago. And we were going to move as quickly as we could, but as thoroughly as we could. And so obviously there's a lot of conversation back and forth with folks, and when there became that moment when there was true interest across the board, we began to talk and pursue that.
Dave, just following up on that, actually, the timing of this, I was just curious about. You had, Arizona season was over on March 1st, and I was wondering, did you do any interviewing between then and April 7th? I mean, because it seemed Tommy was the only one who was involved in the NCAA tournament until last week.
No.
I was just wondering why the timing was the way it was, instead of you guys having a coaching search starting on March 2nd.
I think we talked about that the last time. Clearly, we made that decision with moving in a new direction, and that's when our search started. At that point, when we made the determination, we'd move in a different direction.
Okay, I was just wondering, especially because some of the alumni candidates you talked to, if there was a thought, you could have gotten them and then get this thing going, or.
Look, we did not recruit or any potential candidates at any time until after we had made the decision to move in a different direction.
And finally, if I could, on the of all these things we're talking with Tommy here, on top of that, do you view this as maybe his record appears to be, free of any NCAA issues? Is this something that could be a mitigating factor that might even help you as far as that ongoing case?
Bruce, I'm here to really talk about and celebrate that we've got a tremendous new leader for our program. I'm not going to comment on anything from an NCAA perspective. I'm celebrating the fact, and we're celebrating the fact, that we have an outstanding individual leading our program, and we look forward to that going forward.
Hey, Coach, Jason Shear of Wildcat Authority. I just was wondering, what's the process of analyzing the current roster and then talking with those guys and kind of re-recruiting them?
I mean, so when I got in late last night, I was able to, get on FaceTime with most of them, and just so they could see me and hear my voice. I met with them this morning as a team. The next step is meeting with them individually, because, I want to meet with these guys and give every one of them a chance, because I think that's the right thing to do, and I want to serve them. I mean, ultimately, as a coach, I've always thought it's about serving the players. I think that's how you create good karma, doing the right thing for those guys. So I look forward to meeting with them. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have an exact plan how the roster is going to look. Hopefully a lot of these guys come back because, Sean left a really good foundation to build upon. And I hope, that a lot of those guys decide to stay, but I don't want to make any predictions until I've sat down with guys one-on-one.
Tommy, David Kelly again from KVOA. Of all the times that you pressed record in your mind when John Stockton was talking, what was maybe the most impressive thing that got recorded?
It's stuff that would bore you. Basketball techniques, footwork, things like that. But more it's just about how he carries himself, and how he sees the game. And my son Liam was fortunate enough to be coached by him. And it's not one specific thing. It's just that, when he talks, I listen because there's a lot of wisdom there. And a lot of people have a lot of wisdom, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to tap into some of his.
Tommy, could I ask you just your thoughts on, you said you met with the players. I was just wondering what your expectations are. Obviously, anytime there's a transition in coaches, some players leave. A few players have already left here. Do you expect to bring a lot of the, to keep a lot of the guys, and what is your expectation, recruiting and maybe, what you have right away to maybe deal with this season potentially coming up?
Yeah, I mean, step one is, dealing with the immediate guys. Basketball, you don't need 50 guys to be good. You need, a rotation of 8 or 9 players. So, I know we got a really good start to that, and I want to meet with those guys. I got some ideas maybe how we could supplement it with some other recruiting things, that might be available out there. But, I also don't want to go crazy and make bold predictions and this and that, because I really want to honor and respect these guys, because having been a guy that has been a lead recruiter for a lot of years, I know how long it takes to recruit a player, how genuine those relationships have to be. And to be honest with you, I might have messed with a couple of these guys in recruiting, but not to the level where I know the ins and outs of them. So I want to get to know them, and I want them to get to know me, and I want them to be excited about staying here. So, so the re-recruiting deal is just going to start sitting in my office, talking about families, letting our guards down a little bit, and going from there. And then after we kind of get to know each other a little bit, then maybe we can start talking specifics, basketball specifics for sure.
Justin Spears from the Arizona Daily Star. Coach, congratulations. Welcome to Tucson. You're known for being an international recruiter and recruiting a bunch of very talented guys overseas. How did that come about, and how did your international foundation get built?
Well, it came about out of necessity. I mean, Gonzaga, we were in the WCC. We've always been in the WCC, which it's not a Power 5 conference. And, back in the day as we were building the program, it used to be the deal like, Pac-10 or Pac-12 schools recruiting them. We're probably not going to get them. So in order to get that level of talent, we had to think different. And you know what? I got on a plane and went over to Europe and started meeting people. And one relationship led to another. One success story as a player created a track record to get another player. And so it kind of is something that just kind of evolved and grew on its own. And to be honest with you, there was no crazy master plan. It was just, getting out there and doing it. And obviously, I love coaching international players, but I understand it's not realistic to have 13 international players and no Americans, and that's probably not a good formula. So, I look forward to balancing out the roster here and having a good mix of some international guys that can play and a lot of great American kids.
And then the Pac-12 had a really good season this year in the NCAA tournament. How excited are you about coming over to the Pac and just being a part of that group?
Well, we felt it firsthand. I think, the Sweet 16, Oregon played SC, right? And then we had the winner, and so, I always do the second scout on those games, so I was able to scout Oregon and SC, and they were impressive. We were fortunate enough to play really well against SC and get through it, and then we ran into a play-in team from UCLA, of all things, and they were playing out of their minds. And so it was awesome to see, and I look forward to the challenge of competing against those guys, and I welcome them being successful, because I don't ever want to define Arizona's success by others' struggles. Arizona is good enough and strong enough to be at the top on its own. And so we're not going to be reliant on how other people are. We're going to control our own destiny. That's how I'm going to approach it.
Hi, Brian Peterson with AZ Desert Swarm. I believe as it stands right now, the second game that you would be coaching would be at Gonzaga. Did that come up when talking with Coach Few about what that would be like right off the bat? And is there any chance it might not happen because of that?
Well, it didn't come up, but it might come up in a conversation out on his dock this summer. Maybe, and we'll figure that out. Obviously, that would be a really emotional deal, and that place has a special, special place in my heart, and I'm going to be pulling for them and rooting for them, second only to Arizona. So, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We got other fish to fry first.
And I know that most of the schedule is already set for next year and maybe even beyond, but do you have a scheduling philosophy? I know that it was difficult to get big-name teams to come to Spokane. You usually had to do neutral site games to face the power teams and whatnot. Are you hoping to be able to have a stronger blend of that kind of competition for non-conference?
For sure. I mean, listen, I'm going to probably have to recalibrate myself a little just from having been at Gonzaga for 22 years and how we schedule. And scheduling is a huge part of a program's success. So, I'm going to tap into some minds that know, and we're going to do the best thing for Arizona basketball. But I love playing in those big preseason games. I mean, they're awesome. Getting those CBS time slots, those ESPN College Game Days, playing in the biggest MTEs, and those are opportunities I cherish, and we're definitely going to be taking part of those in some form or fashion at the University of Arizona.
Thank you.
If I could, real quick again, I'm sure it's all fresh to you, but have you started to look at your staff and maybe the possibility of keeping one or two of the guys that were already on staff here?
For sure. I mean, obviously, anybody that's been in the coaching business as long as I have, you have relationships. So I've definitely talked to a few people that I'd love to be on my staff, but I haven't overloaded my staff because I want to get my feet on the ground here and get to know people. And I think it's really important to have Arizona ties within my staff. So, I want to take my time, meet some people, and make the right decisions, moving forward. But I think you're definitely going to see some Arizona flavor on it for sure.
Again, Rich Herrera, Wildcats Radio 1290. This question for Dave Hickey and for Coach Lloyd. Tucson's a very unique place. Dave, did you guys sit down and talk about being involved in the community, being out and about? Obviously, Coach Adia Barnes has done such a tremendous job with her representation in the community, and Coach Jed Fish has opened up practices and reached out to the community. How important is it for the new coaching staff to be out there and kind of following what you set with the football and what we've seen with women's basketball?
Well, there's no question that we want our programs, our student athletes, and our coaches connected to the community. Very important here in Tucson and really beyond, connected to our alumni and our great fan base. And Tommy and I talked about that. I mean, I think similar to Spokane, that there is an outreach, there's a great passion for the program in the community and how you take, how you build those relationships with the community, how you put yourself into the community, being a part of the community, because those are the people that support our programs. And so we had lengthy conversations about that, and I know that Tommy looks forward to, I don't want to speak for him, but looks forward to being connected here in Tucson and with our great fan base.
It's probably not well known, but I'm not a big city guy. I'm a small town boy, and I definitely have heard Tucson and Spokane are very similar. And I know when you're in these small communities, developing real, genuine relationships is important. So, I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to be a normal person, and we're fired up to live here for sure.
Coach, in the past, you've talked about freedom on offense, less sets, more freedom, et cetera. Can you kind of just dive into that a little bit without breaking the whole thing down?
Yeah, for sure. We could do an X and O session later. But, I believe in teaching guys how to play, not necessarily running plays. And now, that doesn't mean you're going to see an undisciplined group throwing jump passes and shooting step back between the leg threes all the time. We're going to have an offense that generates great shots. And it's going to rely on player movement, pace, ball movement, and it's going to be a ton of fun. And I can't wait to get on the court with these guys because that's what I love. The recruiting, I know how important it is, but my true passion is coaching and teaching. And so we're going to spend an inordinate amount of time on teaching guys how to play, and we've had success with it in the past, and I think the players have loved it. And I can't wait to share some of the things, that I do with the players here, and I'm looking forward to watching them grow as basketball players.
Thanks to the media for your questions and for all of you for being here today. So, Coach Lloyd, Chanel, Liam, Maria, Sophia, we are thrilled to have you with us in Tucson at the University of Arizona. Thanks again for coming and opening up this new era for Wildcat basketball. Bear down, everyone.